Chad Zumock is joining us. He's been sitting in the waiting area enjoying a little bit of ECW action.
Can I say one thing? You have a very kind face. I'm looking at your face right now. You look like a very kind soul. Where is the heat coming from?
I am the heel of heels.
You are what we call in wrestling a heat-seeking missile. That is what we call you in the world of professional wrestling.
I'm going to tell you right now, my comedic role model. I didn't get into comedy for Richard Pryor. I didn't get into comedy for any, like, it was Rowdy Piper. Okay. That's my guy. I loved, he was talking shit on a mic. That's what I want to do. I want to talk shit on a mic. That's it.
Let me ask you a question.
Talk to me.
Okay, so you start off in comedy. Did you always want to be a comedian as a wee little lad?
No. I fell into it. I was a basketball player. I loved playing basketball, and I knew I wasn't good enough. And the repetition of this comedy stuff came about, and that's why I became. But I loved Rowdy Piper. Rowdy Piper was my guy. I loved how they booed him. Piper's Pit. They threw shit at him. That's what I wanted. I love that. I love the heel. I love that. I love what's his name? Razor Ramon. I love those guys. Right. Dolph Ziggler, who I went to college with here, Kent State University. I know Nick Nemeth. I know his family. So I love those guys.
Right. So when you're starting out in comedy, you're not afraid, like, to, be a dick and have people be turned off by you. Do you go in hot and you're just a jerk and you say, this is me, love me or hate me? Like, what? I don't understand, because, like, when I started, I'm not saying you're not humble. Don't take this the wrong way, but I was very timid.
Sure.
And I was afraid to say the wrong thing at first, because I was afraid I'd get heat from the boys and the higher ups. You have to know your role. Then I got a little mouthy.
Right.
And you get in trouble when you get a little mouthy, especially the women. You're not supposed to have an opinion, blah, blah, blah. Well, I had a big opinion. I'm Italian, I'm from Philly. There's a problem right there, right?
Yeah.
You go into comedy and you have your peers. Now, are they telling you, like, all right, Chad, you need to calm down a little bit because, it's a little much?
Yes, ma'am. This, to this day, yeah, they want me to.
Okay.
Yes, 100%. And I have nothing but respect for you, because I love wrestling. I really do. I love pro wrestling, and because it's a nomadic journey, the same as comedy. We're doing the same thing, like hotels, like we're dealing with bookers and managers getting screwed over. It's the same goddamn thing. So I have such a kinship to wrestling and wrestlers and everything, and ballets and everything. And you're like a legend, like Missy Hyatt. You remember Missy Hyatt with Jason Hervey?
Sure.
You are a legend. You are that. You're a part of this history that we all love.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It was something that I never wanted to do. Like you, it kind of fell into my lap.
Yeah.
I was in life insurance and I didn't like it. I saw it on TV. I said, I'm going to do that instead. Didn't know a soul, just called the phone number, went to wrestling school, boom. That was it.
But now you have this like weird following. Like, how does that, like, how do you like deal with this? Like, you're just like, use it life insurance. Now you're doing this. And now people love you.
Years. This is my 30th year, in the business, so to speak. And it's kind of like everybody says it's in your veins, and you try to step away, but it always sucks you back in, like what is it, The Godfather? I always say.
Mafia. Yep.
I tried to leave, they sucked me back
Once
in.
I'm out, they pull you back in.
Yeah. That's the expression I always use. Like, I left for a little bit. I got married, had a family, and then the phone didn't stop ringing that whole time. And I just kept saying no, no, no. And then my kids were bigger. My husband goes, get back out there, do something, make some money, help us out. I go, okay. And here we are. And you just, like yourself, you try to build an empire and you try to just make a brand, and your devoted followers will follow you,
Right. I want to make this about you because I'm fascinated. As an old school wrestling nerd.
I want to interview you.
No, it doesn't matter. I'm stupid. But you, like, as an old school nerd, like with wrestling, like, who are you? What was the most memorable situations you've ever been a part of? Because I love the Road Warriors. I love Legion of Doom. I love Demolition. I love everybody you can think of it. Like I'm friends. You know who I'm friends with? I'm friends with Sophia Perry, who is a Jungle Boy's sister. I met her.
Okay.
I met her like opposite of everything. We were just hanging out in Madison, Wisconsin, and she's like, "Yeah, my dad's Luke." I go, "Luke who?" Perry. I go, "What the fuck?" She had no clue. And her brother's Jungle Boy in ECW, and we're still friends to this day. Like we're dear friends. So, like who are your favorite people? I want to know who your favorite people are.
Well, Sherry, Sensational Sherry is that I looked up to the most. And she was in ECW when I started. And I was super excited because I thought, I'm going to meet her. And then I meet her and she's telling me we're going to work together. And my heart's just, blah, 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 blah. I'm so excited. I'm a fangirl for this woman. Like I've watched her for years. And then that's the only time I've ever met her. She left. She went to WCW.
Right.
I never got to work with her. So my heart was completely broken. Absolutely broken. She was the one I mean, to this day, I idolized her. She was everything. She did it all and she was fabulous at her job. But I've met like so many people in this business. It's hard to just pinpoint one person.
What was the holy shit moment of persons or people? Like, oh my shit. Like
probably the one that stands out for me would be Scott Hall, only because we never expected him to come work for ECW. So to have, like, he would come a couple times. Like, he used to come to the arena to watch the show, and sometimes he'd be so drunk. Like one time he was, I'll never forget it. He was on a balcony, and during one of the matches, he just came out and went like this, and he wasn't booked. Nobody knew he was there. The fans went nuts, and he was just in this little balcony, and everybody saw him for like a split second, and then he went behind the curtain. He was bombed.
Wow.
He was so drunk. And we were just like, oh my God, what is going on? I never thought the guy would work for us, but he worked for us for a weekend, and I actually got to work a match with him. So to me, that was pretty cool because I always liked Razor Ramon.
Sure. He's the ultimate bad guy. I'm the bad guy.
And he was great to work with, despite him and Shane's, at this point, Shane Douglas had left. So like the heat was gone. And I was able to like go and try to pick up the pieces and apologize for the fights and whatnot. And he was perfect to work with. So that to me was really cool because I never thought I'd work with like a Razor Ramon. You know what I mean?
100%.
Dusty Rhodes, like where I did a program with Dusty.
That's cool.
Yeah, like he taught me so much. Like such a nice man. Terry Funk. Like there's so many
legends.
Yeah.
I'm just a common man working for or whatever
He was great to work. But I don't want to talk about me.
Chad, what do you think about the similarities though between wrestlers and comedians with the traveling all the time on the road, the different hotels every night? Yeah, but what do you think? Did you ever think you'd be that parallel, of something that you grew up watching in wrestling and you'd have that similar lifestyle?
Well, what's funny is, like I said, Dolph Ziggler, who is I think Nick Nemeth, his brother Ryan's in ECW, if I'm not mistaken.
He's in AEW.
Yeah. Wait, who was it? Brother. Yeah.
We went to the same college, Kent State University. We grew up in Cleveland. We know each other. We're cool and we're friends, and we talk about it. And it's just the same thing. It's nomadic hotel rooms. You book your own thing. It's the same stuff. We're dealing with bookers, like money. It's the same thing back and forth. But at the end of the day, but there's I love wrestling so much because there's such a light on it. And you, of all people, I love the fact that you will forever be known for what you did to this day. You're married, you have kids, and that's fine, but you will forever be known for what you did.
So will you, though?
No, I'm very forgettable.
No, you're not. Well, I want to learn. What's your name again, sir?
Exactly.
No, I want to know about you because I find this whole thing interesting. Like, Chad was telling me, like, he's hated. I'm like, all right, what do you mean he's hated? Like,
No, it's
no,
just
he's
like with
so
wrestling.
hated.
You've got feuds with everybody, and it's I don't I've seen it with both. So we're friends with Husey, right?
I love Husey.
Got to know Husey very well over the last couple of years.
He's hooked us up. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, we know Husey a lot.
We've had Florentine on the show a couple of times.
Why? Why'd you have Florentine on?
I've introduced Florentine at a comedy show here in Virginia. You know, we've gotten to meet Florentine a couple of times in person. So, you know, there's a couple of connections and getting to talk to you a couple times in email. You know, you're a nice guy. And these feuds that have come out over the last couple of months between all these different podcasts, it's amazing to see there's parallels with not only the travel with wrestling and the booking of wrestling and comedy, but the politics that go on behind the scenes of wrestling are also going on behind the scenes of comedy, Francine. And it's crazy. Chad's got all the heat.
Here's what I want to ask you, okay? And I'm breaking the fourth wall. I'm burying kayfabe here. Wrestling people today, because back in my day, I'm talking like I'm 100. Back in my day, we didn't have social media. Right. So you couldn't like put your feuds out there. Right. Say you and I were working a program. Nowadays, you go on Twitter. God, I hate that Chad. He's an asshole. And here's why. Blah, 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 blah. Right. Everybody's having feuds. You don't know whether it's a work, a shoot, blah, 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 unless you're watching the program. In comedy, are you picking fake fights with other people just to get some clout? Or are you really a jerk? That's what I need to know. Because I think you're a doll. The 5 minutes I talked to you, you seem like a really nice person. I could be wrong.
Mrs. Francine, I will answer your question. I love the fact that I was in the belly of the beast. By the way, when it comes to comedy, I know everybody. They know who I am. Everybody. Think of your greatest comedians of all time, Bill Burr. They all know who I am.
Okay.
So I love the fact that I can just do whatever. I don't care. I moved to Florida. In the pandemic, that means I don't care about anything. So
I would love to.
The fact that I went against the grain, people don't like it. There's a narrative you have to be part of the narrative. Like you have to play ball. You have to be in the Hollywood game. I don't want to do it anymore. I don't care. And people don't know how to act to that. So I'm actually playing with this. This is like my jigsaw puzzle. This is my like board game. I'm having fun just dicking around. And I love the heel. I love the heel. The heel is fantastic, and I enjoy it. So when people are shitting on you, they're paying attention to you. Right. So when you talk about like the greatest heels of all time, Razor Ramon,
wrestling again.
Rowdy, I love wrestling. I love it. I mean, I was the Four Horsemen, Arn Anderson, Ric Flair, Tully Blanchard, Barry Windham, Sid Vicious. You want to keep going? I know I'm a part of this, so I love being the problem.
Okay. Here's a question. There's a rapper. I sent him to you, Chad. The one we were trying to get on the show. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he is in a feud with another rapper, right?
Yeah.
Now it seems legit. They're going back and forth. It's like kind of like an Eminem thing, but it's these two guys. They're going back and forth. In comedy, are you going to get on the stage if you're fighting with someone? Are you going to do a set about Joe Schmo who is an asshole and then bury him on the stage? Is that like what you're going to do?
Not necessarily, because we're not as well known. I think wrestlers are they're more well known than comedians. I really do believe it, unless you're in a very established comedian. So it's like if I make fun of like Carl from Who Are These Podcasts, nobody's gonna know who I'm talking about. So, but if I made fun of Burt Kreischer or Joe Rogan, then yeah, people know what I'm talking about.
Right.
It's a different animal. Yeah.
Well, then why are you so hated? That's what I'm trying to get to the bottom of this. If you're not picking on people in your act and you're not tweeting about people, what I don't see it. I'm not buying it. I'm sorry. You're not convincing me you're a heel. You're a heel, Chad.
I'm a fan. I love it. Heel, Chad. I love the story. Like you were talking about, I was watching before I came on, you were talking about the storyline of that match. I love the storyline. I love like, where's it going to go? I have no idea.
Right.
So I like to like create some turbulence and like, let's see what happens and we'll go there. And
okay. Typical set for you.
Sure.
What do you talk about?
My comedy?
Yeah.
I'm a terrible comedian. I just tell dick jokes. I've been very successful of knowing the right people at the right time, and I get good work, and I continue to get work. But my comedy, like I love David Tell. I love David Tell.
Right,
Daniel Tosh, great comedian.
Okay.
I love those guys.
Okay. That's it. Dick jokes. That's all you got for me.
You know what Chad said though? So he moved to Tampa, which he said is like the wrestler capital of the world.
Oh, everybody's in the Tampa.
Dude, Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan lives in Clearwater. John Cena, we all live here. We all live here.
I just came back from Florida. I was there for 16 days at Disney. Yeah. The amount of money I spent there, I could have bought a condo probably.
Oh,
You
dude,
know.
if you want to do a deep dive, look into the CEO of Disney. That's some shady stuff. But
Well, we don't look at that side.
we won't go
like
there.
the happy side. Yes.
Fair enough.
Yes. But I'm jonesing to move to Florida. That's my dream destination.
Where are you located?
Well, I don't say that on the air because some of our fans are a little zealous. And
I understand completely. They're
I can tell you
weirdos.
off
They
the
send
air.
me packages. Like I get weird things sent to me, and I'm nobody. So I get
somebody, Chad. Everybody is somebody in this world, and you are a well-renowned comedian.
Until you met a wrestling fan, something that's a different.
Wrestling fans are weird, man. They get a whole new level. I'm friends with Kevin Nash. He lives dude, he did my old radio show. He was one of the greatest wrestling guests of all time. He was amazing. I co-hosted Sid Vicious's podcast, who was Sid Justice in the WWF. So
yeah, we had him for a little bit. Yeah.
Sid Ertley or whoever, but he was very nice. But so I know these guys, and I know how passionate these fans are. So people probably love you. They probably love you.
You should come to our conventions.
I would love that.
Yeah, you would. You'd probably be one of the only
a couple new comedy routines.
Yeah, but I just did WrestleCade not long ago in November, and part of the rules that they listed was take a shower and wear deodorant, and that's a shoot. Am I lying? Remember we put that up on it was on Twitter. Part of the rules. A lot of these fans
that's pretty bad. If that's a prerequisite, that's pretty damn bad.
They don't have good hygiene, Chad. These conventions can get hot and smelly real quick. So
I believe it.
Yeah, but they're fun, and I love doing them. And I'm surprised, like you guys don't have get-togethers where the comedians all come and you could do shows at night and sign during the day? That would be a moneymaker. No?
Okay, I'm gonna defect right now. Now, can I ask you, as a wrestler and a valet, like you guys are like in another world. Like Miss Elizabeth was the queen of valets. Like she was like.
Well, I'm a manager. Valet, yes, because the valet doesn't really do much. I like to call myself a manager.
So like Bobby the Brain Heenan and Jimmy Hart,
right?
Like, that's how you like put yourself into how does that work? How do you like connect with a wrestler? Like how does Bobby the Brain Heenan like hook up with Mr. Perfect? How do you hook up with whoever?
So in my case, Paul Heyman,
who's awesome
talent
to this day.
But he wasn't talent. He was the booker and owner at VCW at the time.
Amazing on the mic.
Yeah. Oh, he's brilliant. He's got a brilliant mind for the business. But he, at first, he told me we're going to just put you with a group called the Pitbulls. It was a tag team, right? And he says, but you're not going to be with them for long. Because he said he saw something bigger in my future. And
really?
Shane Douglas, who I'm sure you know who he is, he says that one night, Paul saw him and I just talking. I think it was the first night we ever met each other. We were talking in the back and he was giving me tips on promos that I was doing. And Paul said he saw some kind of chemistry between the two of us. And he knew right then and there that we were going to be the next couple in wrestling.
Really?
That's what I never knew that story. Shane told that story to me. And I was just like, really? And he's like, yeah, that's what Paul told me. And I was like, oh. Okay, so he always called us JR and Sue Ellen from that show Dallas. That's what he saw, like the evil couple. kind of.
J.R. Ewing from Dallas, the TV show.
J.R. and Sue Ellen. That's what he always called us. And we were like the star quarterback and the head cheerleader. And, it just kind of happened that way. But then, as you work and people leave, it's like you have to fill gaps with other people. So if a guy is not that good on the mic, they might put a girl with him who can talk. There's a lot of different aspects in wrestling that you have to consider.
No, I'm fascinated with it because I was behind the scenes of Raw a couple of years ago. Jerry Lawler, the great Jerry Lawler, who God bless, I hope he's doing great.
I think he's doing better from what I hear. Yeah, he's doing well.
I was the guest of his at Raw in Cleveland, and we were backstage. I was at
catering.
I'm eating with Arn Anderson. Arn Anderson. I'm like, what the hell is going on right now? And I'm watching the inner workings of everything that's going on, and I'm fascinated with that because, like I said, it's parallel with comedy.
Right.
But I'm such a fan of wrestling, old school. I love the old school stuff, and I just want to know, like, how that all comes together. Like, how does, like you just said, like with Shane Douglas and what you did, but I also want to know, like, if I can ask a question, if that's cool.
Absolutely. I really want to learn more about you.
Great.
This is for you, but go ahead. It's fine.
But like, how does like tag teams come together? I'm a big fan of tag teams. Like the Legion of Doom Road Warriors are my favorite. The Steiner brothers are my second. And how come they're not like relevant right now? I'm all over the map right now, but like,
You're funny.
But like, how do they like all come together? And how does they become a manager? How does like who was the Road Warriors manager? What was his name?
Paul Ellering.
Precious Paul Ellering.
Yep. Yeah.
Like, how does that all come together? Like, I'm just curious.
When people like try out, because we used to have like open tryouts, like we would get to a building and there would be 20 indie workers waiting to come in. Right. And then you hold like kind of like camp or a tryout. So they would let these guys get in the ring and you can say, hey, I'm a singles wrestler, or hey, I work as a tag team on the indies. It's like whatever you start off with, whatever you're comfortable with. I know some guys just like working with other guys because it's honestly, it's less on their body. When you have a tag match, you're only in the ring half the time. When you're a singles guy, you're working the whole 20 minutes or hour or whatever you're going to do. So it's kind of like with the Pitbulls, I think they were together like since they started. They went to like the Monster Factory, and then maybe the guy there said, okay, we're going to put you in a tag. Maybe they didn't have enough tag teams, and they just want to put two people together and see how their chemistry is. It just depends. Some people are more comfortable working with another person.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of up to the wrestler when they start what direction you want to go in.
Well, how did you get discovered with the ECW? I read your Wikipedia. I
need to pet you. You're so cute. I can't.
like who found you? Like
no one found me. No one found me. I was working at a life insurance company. I hated it. I lived in Philadelphia. Hated working Center City, back and forth every day. Tuesday nights, ECW. It wasn't even Extreme yet. It was called Eastern Championship Wrestling. It was very early on. It was early 92, 93. And I would watch it on Tuesday nights, and I didn't know anybody, and I was just new to wrestling. I'd only watched it for a year, and I just found this company, and there was a commercial, and it said, if you want to be a wrestler or a manager or a referee, call us. Join our training school.
That was it.
Yeah, I just called. I didn't know anybody, but I knew I didn't want to be in life insurance anymore. And I said, I think I can do what these girls are doing. I don't know what I'm doing. I picked up the phone. I said, hey. And they said, oh, come down and meet Todd Gordon. Todd Gordon was the founder. And he worked at Jewelers Row in Center City at a pawn shop. And so I had to be buzzed into this pawn shop. And with the bars on the window and all this, and I'm 20 years old and I'm walking in, I'm looking around. I don't know anybody. And he says to me, oh, you're really pretty. You're not going to bump. A bump is when you take
a
ball. Well, that's all I did my whole career was bump. And he lied to me. He's a big liar. But that's how I called them and trained and had a match. They liked what they saw. They told me to go meet Paul. I met Paul. I took a choke slam, and they hired me. And that was it.
That's it.
And then you learn as you go.
That's your origin story.
Chad, did you ever want to be a wrestler?
I still want to be a wrestler.
It's never too late. Look at DDP. What was he, 36? When he had his first match?
Yes.
Yeah, but like going backstage at Raw, seeing the inner workings, knowing guys in the business, did you ever get the itch to want to like say like, hey, maybe introduce me to somebody that could show me where to take the bumps and maybe,
What you
give me
doing,
the
Kat?
in?
I think that's a great question. I think I want to be a wrestler, and I was too much of a pussy, so I became a comedian.
Yeah, but he's got the chops. Maybe he doesn't have to take the bump. I mean, learn how to take the bumps, be on the outside, be the mouthpiece.
I would love that. And I would love to be I really do believe Bobby the Brain Heenan was the greatest manager of all time.
Oh,
he was amazing.
He was amazing. Let me tell you something. It's never too late. You say you have all these connections. All you need to do is hook up with one of your boys on an indie show and tell him, look, I don't need to get paid. I just want to come out there and see if I could do this. And they'll let you.
Really?
If there's no money involved, don't let anybody.
Oh, yeah, they'll do it. Yeah. All you have to say is no money, and a wrestling promoter will be like, whatever you want. You're winning the world title tonight, as long as we don't have to pay you.
If they don't have to pay you a dime, they'll be like, yes, absolutely.
Wow.
If you like it.
This may have changed my life.
Oh, my God, I'm changing your whole career now. I'm going to mold you into the most successful manager ever. It's going to be great. You're
I've been more fascinated with the world of wrestling than I am with the world of comedy. I can give a shit.
I'm fascinated with comedy because
it's not that interesting.
No, seriously. I just went to see Sebastian, the Italian guy.
Maniscalco.
Yes.
Maniscalco.
I saw him in Atlanta.
I have a great story about that. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. That was the first comedy show I've ever went to. Because
and you're Italian, right?
I'm Italian. I could relate to this guy.
You're connecting.
Italian, his kids, his wife. I'm Italian. I got my husband. I got my kids. Disney. He talked about we do Disney every year. I related to him, but as I'm watching him, I'm saying to myself, my God, if I was up there and I bomb, I'll cry because if you don't know me, you won't get it because I look like such a tough bitch when I'm out in front of that camera. I'm very emotional and my feelings get hurt rather quick.
I'm half Italian, so Italians are emotional.
Yes. Well, I'm half Italian too. My mom's all Italian. My dad was French Canadian. But I get really emotional. So I said, oh my God, if I was up there and I told a shitty joke and it bombed, I would want to run off the stage and hide. I don't know. I know you just keep going, but for me, I don't know if I could do that. I think you have to have, my nerves are bad. I couldn't handle being a comedian. So you are a rare breed to me.
I'm broken. We're all broken. Sebastian Maniscalco is broken. And I know Sebastian Maniscalco. Let me tell you a great story about Sebastian Maniscalco.
Okay.
By the way, he earned almost $15 million in revenue from touring last year.
He's got a cooking show. I watched his cooking show and it's all over the place.
He's killing it. Let's rewind to 2008. Sebastian Maniscalco texts me. He goes, "Hey man, I'm at the Cleveland Improv this weekend." I go, "Yeah, I'm with you. So let's hang out." He goes, "Cool." I go, "Hey, do you want to do a bar gig that Wednesday? Because we were Thursday through Sunday." And I go, "It pays $500. He goes, "Yes, I'll fly in early." I'm getting paid $100 to open for him. I pick him up at the airport. We drive to the bar gig. He does it. We do the show, and as we're driving back to Cleveland for the Improv, he's counting out the money, $20 bills on the dashboard of my Hyundai Sonata. This is 2007, $500. Now he's making $15 million a year, and I'm on your podcast.
Oh.
Hey, and it all comes full circle.
Wait a minute.
Just like that.
He just took a big dump on our podcast.
Listen, and I think what he was trying to say was there's no place you'd rather be than with the Queen of Extreme, Francine, through Maniscalco, and wherever the hell he is right now.
Whoa!
I am taking offense to that right now. You just justified why you're such a dick in the business. Yeah, got you. Okay, now I know. I'm on to you, Chad. I got you. All right.
5 stars on iTunes, you bitches.
All right. Well, we're all jealous of Sebastian's fame because,
True story, by the way. True story. That happened.
Yeah. Well, my podcast is pretty over.
I know it is over. I've done you. I didn't come on this shit recklessly.
There could be worse places you could be today. So let's just chalk it
Trust
up.
me.
This isn't okay.
You could be at the dentist's office. It could be worse.
I was
getting a proctology gimmick up your ass, but
almost.
we're
I'm
here.
almost there.
All right.
I'm 48 now, so I got that. That's coming around my corner, right?
I'm going to turn 51 next week.
Ah, shit.
Or no, what? Well, when is this airing? In 2 weeks? The 19th.
You turned 58 3 days ago. Technically.
58, 51.
Oh, 51. My bad.
Oh, what the fuck, dude?
I meant to say 8 days in
can't.
the future, 3 days ago, your birthday.
Yeah, we're multitasking today. We're filming 8 episodes, so I have to remember where each episode goes. Are you touring right now?
No.
No, why? You're lazy and just sitting at home doing nothing, and then you're complaining that you're on my podcast. See, I'm getting you exposure, so maybe somebody listens to this and they hire your ass.
I appreciate it. No, I do. I'm doing private gigs here and there, and I do corporate gigs, but I'm more or less doing my podcast, which is Sit Down Zumock, and I do a podcast with a comedian named Kevin Brennan, who's I don't know his situation, but he's he's huge, and he was a New York legend. Dave Attell, he's been on Letterman, Conan, every late night talk show. The first Comedy Central presents, HBO, Saturday Night Live. And we go on his podcast and we create controversy and people get pissed off and we're doing well. We're making money. So
you create controversy. What are you picking at? Mainstream media, entertainment bit? What are you drawing that you're getting heat from?
It's just all pettiness. Like you would think in wrestling, you want to go big. I'm gonna pick a fight with The Rock. We're no, we want to pick a fight with a guy who works at a fucking hockey store.
Yeah, Zumock and Kevin Brennan would be a hell of a heel tag team together in a ring, and, especially on the mic. I mean, it's quite the formidable duo.
Okay, I'm telling you, man. If you want to get into our business, just hook up with an indie guy and tell him, "Hey, I will manage you tonight."
Dude,
give me 2 spots. Let me say a couple words.
I met Ric Flair about 8 months ago. He was downtown Tampa. I was outside of a Marriott, and I was riding my bike, and he was just standing there. No one's around. I'm like, holy shit! I was
riding my bike by the Marriott, and I met Ric Flair.
Fucking Ric Flair! I'm like, Jesus Christ! I take the photo. I don't know what to say. I still get starstruck in front of these wrestlers. I can meet Brad Pitt. I don't give a fuck. But if I meet Ric Flair, I'm like, I'm in.
Wow.
So wrestlers, I get weird around because I was such a fan as a child. Growing up, because I lived in Cleveland, Ohio, we had WCW. It was Turner Sports, Atlanta.
Yep.
And then we had, what was the Von Erichs? What was their organization? World Class. So we watched that. And I watched all of it. This is my DNA, wrestling. I love it so much.
We got to get you into something. You're in Florida.
Can I be your manager?
Well, I am not working in ring anymore.
Let's talk some shit.
Let's do it. I would like to be across from you. I would like to be on the opposing team.
Yeah.
And get to beat the shit out of you. That would be fun.
I would love it.
Although I would get paid because I don't do these things for free.
I could take a bump.
You could take a bump. I can listen. We have this. If there's any Florida promoters listening, you have gold right here.
Do you do a lot of Comic-Cons and shit?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, they probably love you.
They're fun. I do enjoy those. I like interacting with fans. I like. It makes me happy when they're happy to see us because it's been 30 years and I'm just like, you still care, And
you're an OG of ECW.
Yeah,
OG.
O is the key initial.
Well, I mean, not 58, but getting there. Right?
I'm not 58. I'm 50 right now. I still my birthday didn't pass yet, so it's coming. But no, it's been great. It's been a great run, and I'm just here for a good time.
Listen, I don't know how long I'm on this show for, but let's go over the greatest managers and valets of all time.
Oh, jeez.
Quickly, wrap it up.
Wrap it up.
You can tell me.
I think Bobby the Brain Heenan's the best, right?
Bobby Heenan.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Like who else? And then you just mentioned what's his name? Paul he's still around.
Press Paul Eller. Yep, definitely
Yep,
up
he
there.
was great.
Jim Cornette.
Oh,
Yep.
Jim Cornette, corny. Yeah, you got to put him up there.
Paulie.
Undertaker's Paul Bearer.
Paul Bearer, he
was
passed away.
wonderful. Yep. Who else? Paulie Dangerously.
Sensational Jerry.
Well, Sherry, yeah. I'm just going over the men right now.
Oh, just the men?
Was Paulie
Okay.
Dangerously. Dangerous Alliance.
But let's talk about all the hot valets. You got you.
Oh,
you
there's so many women. There's
Miss Elizabeth.
Miss Elizabeth, Sherry Martel, Medusa Maselli. Medusa's still out there. She's still. I just saw her in December. She looked great.
Yeah.
There's just so many people. There's so many people out there.
So many going on.
To be fair, I mentioned Sherry because she probably could have whooped all the guys' asses. So
she did, and she
kind of a badass.
She was great. She was absolutely great. I'm just blessed that I got to meet her. I'm sad I never got to work with her, but I got to meet her and do some stories back and forth, and she was just lovely. So met a lot of good people.
Well, as a friend of Sophia Perry, and this is going out there, I want everyone to know she's Luke Perry's daughter. Her brother is Jungle Boy, who is a badass in ECW right now. Go watch him.
AEW.
I apologize. I'm so sorry.
I met Luke Perry at SmackDown when I worked for WWE.
Really?
And every girl was going nuts.
90210, dude. You can't beat.
He was with Jack. Jack was little. This was in 2006.
What was he, like 6?
It was 2006 when I worked there. So I don't know how old the kid is now. He's got to be in his early 20s, right? 20 something.
I would think so.
Yeah. He was little and he was walking in the back and everybody was giggling like a schoolgirl. I was like, Dylan McKay, 90210. Oh my God, it's Luke Perry. Oh my God. And all I can muster out was, hi. That's it. And he said hi, and we just passed like two strangers in the night.
Dude, when I met her in Madison, Wisconsin, we were just hanging out. It was weird, and she's like, "Yeah, my dad was an actor." I go, "Who was he?" He's like, he was on some TV show." I go, "What's it?" He's like 90210. I go, "Wait, your last name's Perry? Luke Perry?" She had no idea the magnitude of how famous. And she was just like, it's he's some like work construction or something.
Yeah, no, he was, and no, not knocking construction workers because they as well. But he was a big deal, and he had all the girls swooning. So his son looks just like him. If he cut his hair, he would just look like his father to a T.
Good looking guy, great wrestler, athletic. Yeah, go support him.
But I'm telling you need to just hook up with somebody in Florida. Talk to your friend Dolph, Nick, Ryan, or tell him, say, look, hook me up with some indie shows. And Francine said I could make zero money, but I just want the experience. You'll love it. It's fun. It's just fun.
I love it. It's so much fun.
It's fun. When are you going to tour again?
I don't know. I go to my website, chadzumock.com, but I love wrestling. When he actually reached out to me, I was so happy to be part of this because I dug on you and I go, oh, she's cool as fuck.
Oh, thank you.
You did all this cool shit.
Are you on Twitter?
I am, Chad Zumock.
We need to follow each other so we can keep in touch.
I would love that.
And
you live in Philly?
No, I do not, and we're not going to discuss where I live.
Fair enough. That's the thing is all these weirdos on the internet, they will like stalk you and
they're just come to my door and ask how I'm doing, and it's like, no thanks.
No, I get it.
Well, we're friends now, so I can tell you. And then tomorrow, Chad will be at my door.
Hey, what's going on?
Asking me about wrestling again, and I'll be like, oh, okay, not him.
What was it like meeting Shane Douglas?
Have you ever met Shane Douglas? I love when people, have you ever met Shane Douglas? I know the guy, So people can find you across social media. What's your handle?
I think he put it on the screen right there.
Where it is. Just Twitter? Is that all
my name, follow it. If you don't, I don't give a shit. It doesn't matter. I am happy to be on this podcast.
It's so easy.
You're a dear, and I hope you continue success, and I appreciate you having me.
Same to you, and hopefully we can catch a show. Maybe when you start touring again, let us know, and we'll come and I'll let you make fun of me. How about that?
I will comp every ticket if you ever came to a show. Absolutely. Bring as many as people as you want.
See it, Chad. I'm just saying I'll show up. I mean, come on.
Bring as many people as you can to my show.
We're gonna paper. See, in wrestling, that's called papering the crowd.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we'll paper your appearance, and you'll have thousands there. And
that's exactly what's going on.
I'm going to go follow you after we wrap up, and we'll keep in touch. But you were a pleasure. I don't think you're a dick. You have dick moments, but overall, I think you're the guy.
God bless you.
You're approved. So, it was great meeting you. Thanks for coming on. And,
no, thanks for having me. You're awesome.
Success to you. Hopefully something big like Sebastian happens to you.
Here's my Sebastian.
There he is.
Here we go. Listen, you're living in Section 8 point housing and you buy a brand new Weber grill? What's wrong with you?
He sounds just like him. You're good. You got some talent there.
15 million, bring it in. I need it.
You got to get out of your house. You got to make money out of your house. We got to get him out of his house.
Get me out of this fucking house.
We'll
figure something out. But you're a doll. Great meeting you. We'll keep in touch. Take care of yourself.